no specific topics today, huh? Well, I did want to talk about the LA fires and some of the other stuff that's going on, but I didn't really care to come up with like a catchy title. So, alas, here we are. Let me make sure I'm seeing all of the all messages so that I can see what you got to say. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I'm sitting here in a hot tub and it's really nice. I'm still in Southern California. I will probably start heading back to Mount Shasta tomorrow and take my time in doing so. But yesterday I went and played some pickleball, and so my muscles are kind of sore and I'm relaxing in a hot tub, so it's pretty nice. The weather here is really nice too. Let me see if I can get away from me. See the beautiful view here. Palm trees. Don't drop your phone. Oh, well, I'll definitely try not to, but thankfully it is waterproof, so that's exciting. Kyle says, dang, you're still enjoying a hot tub and sunshine. I'm jealous. Yeah. The weather's not too bad in Mount Shasta right now, but by the time I get back there, it is going to be colder. I would love to have a hot tub at my place in Mount Shasta. But in the meantime, the place that I do the karaoke thing at and my other vegan events has a hot tub, and the owner basically said that I could come over and get in whenever I wanted and, you know, basically use the space. So that's pretty exciting. Michael said, what up, little baby? How's it going, Michael? I'm just chilling in a hot tub, letting my muscles relax a little bit after some pickleball yesterday because it was exhausting. The last time that I played pickleball was like high school, which was over a decade ago. And so yeah, it was definitely a fun experience, but I'm sore today. So we'll see how the rest of the day progresses, but I'm going to take it easy. Hey, look, Kyle, I got the mug that you gave me. Hot tea in a hot tub on a hot summer's day. I'm not sure about that, but what the hey. So anyways, I was watching this video this morning. I think Kyle might have been the one that posted it about the LA smart cities. Yeah, so anyways, I was just watching that this morning, and there was interesting, you know, all these different plans that they've released already to the general public about the different smart city features that they are going to implement and how they're going to make it like more inconvenient for people to drive cars by making less car lanes and even having these like expressways that you have to pay to drive on, so that people won't be able to own their own cars anymore, and they'll be forced to rely on government transportation, bus system, the metro, whatever. So it's kind of interesting to see that all kind of, you know, shaping up to take effect, and how these different fires are clearing people out of different areas that, you know, have plans in the works for these metros, the fast train that's going to go from like San Francisco to LA. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do. The article that I was reading this morning, I think it had a quote from Newsom basically saying, yeah, we're in really deep with this project, but we've already started it and now we just need to keep going. So yeah, obviously money isn't a thing for them. They print money, so it's not like finances are the problem that's going on. Another thing that the video was talking about was that they've kind of let crime raise in certain areas. So essentially, you know, they are really lax about it. They let the homeless population build up, which they feed into, right? They're laying people off. So many people are one paycheck away from being homeless and losing literally everything. And that's all by design. And so they let the homeless situation get out of hand, and then people are desperate. People start doing drugs. They start stealing things. Crime rates go up. And then if the cops don't do anything about it, you know, after enough time, people are going to be begging for, you know, AI implemented laws. One of the things was talking about how it would collect data and be able to target future attacks essentially before they happen, right? They're preventative measures, which is just them spying on us and saying, oh, this person's looking up how to make a bomb, and now they're, whatever. So basically cause the problem, which is that the police aren't helping take care of the crime. Well, cause the problem at the beginning, which is making everything desperate and humans being crushed down and needing to survive and all of that stuff. And then the crime comes, and then you don't handle the crime, and then the people are begging for whatever policies that you have. Just kind of like what popped into mind was with the 5G, how our internet was working perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden they start, throttling the internet and making it harder for things to work, so that people will beg for 5G and like better service, and then they can come in and save the day. So this is constantly what they are doing, causing the problem, then bringing in the solution to fix it so that they can step by step implement their new world order. And then all of a sudden one day you look back and you're like, how did we even get here? Well, it was all of these things that happened along the way to make that happen. So hey everybody in the live chat, hopefully you're doing well. I'm a little bit far behind here because I was chatting. Kyle said I've never played pickleball. Apparently it's getting really popular. My younger brother plays as well, and there's a lot of people at the court yesterday that played. It's really fun, so I would definitely encourage you to, when you get the chance. Raven says hot tub time machine. Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of the hot tub too, anytime. So it's kind of ruined it. But that being said, I actually don't believe in time travel or any of space travel stuff like that. So Michael said, your video on inversion in Hollywood changed my life. Oh, that's so cool to hear. Thank you. I appreciate that. Michael's referring to Transvestigation 101. Porn stars are male. I go through various biomarkers, the most general ones from the head to the, well, not to the toes technically, but your Q angle, and even show my own biomarkers compared to Hollywood, well, mainly porn stars, so that you can see the main differences between them. So cool. Jen says the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. Well, there's definitely been a lot of, it's kind of pluses and minuses, I guess. There's benefits and there's downfalls in all of these different things. I love the fact that we can sit here and chat, with people from all over the world, and have this kind of connection. But at the same time, there's so much that's been lost, like especially with the family unit and having the parents going in separate directions and the kids going to school and being trained in all these other things. So yeah, a lot of it, there's good things and bad things, but a lot of bad things. South African boy said I just had a 15-hour nap. That sounds great. I love long naps. Cal said, yeah, I shared that. Smart cities are on their way. Exactly. And it'll be interesting to see what is even left after the stuff that's going on. When I leave here tomorrow, I might potentially be getting closer to the fires. The vegan treaty LA that I mentioned last week is still passing out food and doing their little outreach. Well, it's not little by any means. What the videos, if you go on Instagram and search at Plant-Based Treaty LA, you will see just that they've been there days and days and days making huge amounts of food, pre-made little meals in to-go containers, and just giving people stuff out. One of the things that I've wanted to do for many years was to go to like a soup kitchen or something to help volunteer, but they're always going to be passing out non-vegan stuff. So this would be the first chance that I get to do that kind of service, and so I would really, really love that. Obviously, what I do on the mountain is my own thing, and there's coolness in that too, but like these bigger cities that have bigger vegan communities, it's really cool to see them and see what they're doing and just be inspired by them. So I will keep you updated as far as that goes. Raven says the Hughes fire in Castiac, is that how you say that? Fits too well for that supposed rail line. Interesting. yeah, there's been so many different fires within the past few years, even the Paradise Fire and some of those other ones, along that same line of that power rail that they are trying to implement. And obviously, if they go in and, they warned you, they gave you an evacuation order, basically trying to force you out, right? Hopefully that didn't... yeah, basically saying it's unsafe that you have to leave. They've done that in the evacuation zones that I was in before. They're orders, right? Evacuation orders. They order you to leave. You're not allowed to stay, which realistically you can fight them, but they go in and make sure that people are out for the most part, and then they light the fires, and then so there's a little bit less karmic repercussions since they warned you, and they try to make sure that you are out of the way and all of that. So the powers that be definitely know that karma is real and try to work within those mechanisms so that they don't get anything bad for themselves, but they can still do what they do to humanity, right? They're farming humans, they're crushing us down, they're eating children, they're doing all of these different things. But then you also have to look at the human species and what we've been led to do, which is eating babies and farming other species and doing all of these sorts of evil to them. So we have to make sure that we're assessing the situation righteously, or else we're just going to sit here and cry like victims when we're really not the victims. Like, in some ways we are, because we've been led astray, we've been deceived, we've been led down the wrong path, but we're not the victims when there's animals that are being slammed around and put into slaughterhouses and raped and all of those other things. So Steven, hello, how's it going? What data do you need? I'm not really sure what data you might be talking about. I don't think I need any data for any particular topic right now, but thanks. Kyle says Trump's using $500 billion to make the USA the AI capital of the world. Interesting. I saw, was that you that also posted that Trump was trying to implement new laws and stuff based on AI and maybe what that can do? I didn't actually read the article, but I saved it for later, because I'm not against AI. I'm against the powers that be making AI, because their AI is going to be anti-human like them. But if someone that's pro-human makes AI and is doing it with good intent, you can put it in the programming that it's going to be pro-human, and not see us as, AI is smart. So once these, intelligent beings start to assess the world and see what different problems there are to be solved, a lot of them lead back to the human species. And it's just, there's a lot of things reasons that AI could turn against humanity in general. And I think that we definitely need to take measures to prevent that from happening, or else we're going to have this Terminator style, thing where there's these evil bots that are against humanity and trying to wipe us out. So, it's very dangerous in the hands of the powers that be, especially the Trump card. Murphy 5, what do you think about all this so-called new immigration policies there? That's an interesting question. I actually haven't seen any of the new policies. I am very sheltered when it comes to the news, because I don't watch mainstream news. I don't really look into it. So I'll have to look into that and get back to you. I'm on my phone right now, so I can't really get off the app without shutting down the live stream. So, hey, Bandar2112, how's it going? He said 1984 or Minority Report. Yeah, 1984. It's interesting how much of that predictive programming is coming to pass, but it's not even really predictive programming, right? It's that they're telling us their plans before it happens, and all of these forms of entertainment, we see it as entertainment, whether it's sports or movies or TVs or whatever, music, right? The powers that be aren't sitting there how can we keep our beloved humans entertained? Let's give them great things. No, they're trying to program us. They're trying to desensitize us to different things. They're trying to distract us from what our souls came here to do. How many people just go home and sit and watch TV for the rest of the night? Get home from work, pop on the TV, eat dinner in front of the TV, fall asleep in front of the TV, go about their day, and that's just such a distraction for them. And it's understandable, because the 9 to 5 lifestyle and the current situation out there is something that a lot of people, especially, at a core level, you can't be happy with what's going on, no matter what job you're in or anything, because none of us are truly doing what our souls came here to do when we're part of that 9 to 5 matrix, where we're worried about money and making ends meet and all of these other things that this false system has us worried about right now. So Jennifer says it's self-sacrificial, so twins conjoined doesn't be looked at and rejected. I'm not really sure. Are you talking about the system that we're in is self-sacrificial, that it sacrifices itself? And interesting. If that is what you're saying, that's pretty cool. Because they do have this, right versus left conjoined twin type thing going on, where they're fighting each other and pretending to be each other's enemies too. But at the end of the day, they're the same entity, right? Bandor says better the U.S. than China. Pandora's box is already open. Well, yeah. The thing is, though, that so much of the U.S. is already owned by China, and it's kind of funny that even as truthers, we're still a little bit programmed to see, like China and America as different still, when the same souls that are farming us are controlling all of the different countries. Obviously, they make different countries have different laws that are better or worse, and different systems like that. But yeah, so anyways, back to what you're saying. Even by Mount Shasta, there's 2 mountains. One of them's called China Mountain, and I think the other one might be like South China Mountain or something. But they own so much of the U.S. Even Trump has financial ties to China, so it's like there's a lot of people that were counting on Trump to be against China and all of this stuff, and that's just not the case. Speaking of, how about that TikTok, them basically giving you something, and then it's like this good cop bad cop routine, and they give it to you, and then they get to basically say that Trump saved TikTok or something. It's really ridiculous, the whole thing of it. I'm not on TikTok personally. I don't watch videos or anything on TikTok. I know that there's obviously good and bad, but everything, like I was saying with the entertainment, all of the entertainment that we're given, even these social media platforms that we're given, none of this is like for our benefit, right? They're spying on us through our cameras. They're paying attention to everything that we're doing. All your social media updates. Oh, I just ate this for dinner. Like, you're giving them free information, and they're taking it. And the whole idea of, oh, China's taking our information with TikTok, it's like they're all in bed together. They all have all the information. It's like it's just a joke at this point, to be like that. So South African boy says, I was robbed the other day, and I'm so pissed because all my equipment in my music studio is taken. Oh no. Aw. Well, I hope that you're able to get it back. That sucks. I'm about to crash out. Well, I hope that you have a great night's sleep. Toodaloo. Jerry E says, I love your eyes. Aw, thanks. I appreciate that. Bandor says, you don't recognize that quote. I actually didn't recognize that quote, if that's better the U.S. than China. I'm not really sure what's that from. Sorry. David D, thanks for moderating. I really appreciate that. I'm not really sure what's going on in the live chat, but I know that I got some trolls recently, so I appreciate the help in moderation. Mash the Work says, where are you from? Technically, I'm from Ohio, but I live in Mount Shasta at the time. The reason that I went to Mount Shasta, that I live in Mount Shasta, is that it's the Earth's root chakra. I've said it a million times, so I apologize for those who it's redundant to, but the root of the tree will impact the whole tree. So if the root is really corrupt, if it's dark and dirty, it's not going to produce a healthy tree. It's not going to produce a healthy world. So by coming to Mount Shasta and focusing on purifying the root and fixing the root, coming to the root of the issue, right? The idea is that it will help affect the rest of the world. We're going to be a city on a hill, and it's going to be really exciting. I actually think that the future Israel is Mount Shasta. So No big deal. Christian says, cheers from Mississippi, old wise lioness. Oh, thanks. That's interesting that you say lioness, because Inanna was given the nickname Labatu, which is lioness. Am I barefoot? Well, I'm in a hot tub, so yes, I am barefoot. Jerry said, where are you from? Again, I'm from Ohio, but I live in Mount Shasta. Thanks, everybody, for the compliments in my eyes. Jerry says, what do you think about grounding? I was actually just making some jokes about grounding the other day, because, you know, you think about getting grounded as a child and you get sent, into your room or punished or whatever. When in reality, it's like, go ground yourself. You need to go outside and touch some grass and get a hold of yourself. And then, like, we can have a conversation, because there's just too much energy going on here that needs to just be out, whether they're hyper or upset or any of these things. I've talked before about how, sorry, someone's pulling with a loud vehicle. I've talked before about how there's a cool documentary on grounding. Maybe it's called Earthing. And they talk a lot about the scientific aspect of grounding, the electrical aspect of it. So if you want to look into that, I definitely would suggest doing that. But on another level, on a spiritual level, the earth is our mother, and like the same kind of thing that, you know, the energy that you can get by laying a baby on your chest and having that bare skin contact, it's comforting, it's loving, it's all of those great feelings that you also get from grounding. So it's kind of cool to make that connection on the spiritual level of the earth being our mother, and like making that connection with her and all that. So, ooh. John says, yo, what is this conversation about? Well, it's about a lot of things, because I'm just reading in the chat and answering comments and responding to whatever people say. It's really hot in here. Thanks for the compliments about my eyes. I appreciate that. Big Squash says, nice payphone behind you. Oh yeah, that is. You don't see those anymore, huh? Saffold says, I heard aliens will invade. They have been talking about an alien invasion for a while, haven't they? Like, hurry up, do something already. We're all waiting. This is getting boring. But obviously they have to, they're playing their own timeline and doing things in their own order of events, just like a chess game. You don't, you know, usually people don't swing their queens out really early in the game, right? They take their time to set up their board, get their defense, get all these other pieces into place, and then you bring out your queen, and you get to the fun, right? But yeah, they are very strategic in what they're planning. So we'll have to see what happens. David D says fake alien invasion is coming. Exactly. Yeah, with the Project Bluebeam and all of those drones and all the other stuff that they've been putting out, all of the media and stuff too, that the movies, right? Is Independence Day one of them? That's really funny that I was about to say movies and then drew a complete blank about any alien movies. So Alien versus Predator, whatever. But it's still kind of interesting to see all the programming and kind of how they want humans to react, obviously, to like the gray aliens and like fighting back, and then you have the blonde-haired, blue-eyed aliens that we're supposed to be seduced by and whatever. It'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Vander says AI can never actually exist. Interesting. What do you mean by that? I wish your name wasn't that, but okay. Skynet. Yes, something like that. Brian says that your eyes are huge and very pretty. Aw, thanks. David D says pro-human AI is needed to create a golden age. Current anti-human AI will create Satan's new world order. Exactly. But exactly like that too, because my golden age definitely involves like a robot serving me. We should have robots doing all of the menial tasks that we don't want to do, so that we can frolic and play and explore and enjoy life and have babies and raise them and just have a good time. And the robots can make our food for us, you know. Radoslaw, I'm not sure if that's how you say your name, but you're asking, do I want to escape with you from this world? Well, the problem is that I came here for a reason. So escaping does sound extremely tempting very often, especially when things go bad and, just, I don't know, cars breaking down and different setbacks, water heaters breaking, and all of these different things that have happened to me in the few years that I've been at Shasta. It definitely makes escapism look good, but I know that it would be a short-lived pleasure, because I'd eventually wake up and be like, oh gosh, I'm not doing what I came here to do. So on that same note, so many of the world's religions teach escapism, right? Going to heaven, getting out of here, going to Valhalla, well, that's whatever, Nirvana, all of these different places to go and get out of this world, when we choose to come here in the first place. And if all of these souls that are seeking to do better, to be better, to do what God wants us to do, if all of these souls leave, then the only souls that are going to be left on this earth are the ones that are seeking to do bad. So that's one of the reasons why they promote these escapist ideas in religions. Leave, But even the Bible says, the meek will inherit the earth. The tares are gathered before the wheat. There's this 1,000-year millennial reign of Christ where we get to enjoy this earth for what it is, without all of the badness. So yeah. Alexander says, greetings, my queen. Looking beautiful as always. Oh, thanks. Omar says, anyone remember Dexter? Do you mean Dexter, like the series? It's an interesting horn. Staffold says, like what? Simpsons. I think it's distraction. Yeah, and especially like The Simpsons and Family Guy and all of these shows that are like geared towards, I don't know, I would probably say adult males. The dad is always like the dumbest person in the room, and just that programming alone and how that has like impacted a lot. And then you see videos online, it's like when mom's away, dad does something really stupid with the babies. It's like just this deliberate dumbing down of males in general. And there's a lot to that. Obviously, they're deliberately dumbing down females as well, but for the males, there's just different agendas, I guess, in that they over-sexualize males and, get you to watch porn and start masturbating as early as possible. So, you're docile, right? If you're sexually satisfied and ready to take a nap, you're not going to get up and go to work, fight. And you're also losing all of that life force energy and those nutrients and all this other stuff that goes along with that. So there's a lot with just even thinking about the nutrients that you lose too growing up, how much more intelligent people would be if they weren't doing these things. And we'll see. Hey Jane, how's it going? Never thought Trump would build the infrastructure for the AI god. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all, because I've been saying for a while that Trump is their trump card. So, yeah, but it's interesting to see how it's going to go down. I'm sure that Trump will be promoted as like the god of AI and, the best president ever, because Trump gave us all, universal income and gave us all robots and made everything, whatever. Their new world order. There's parts of it that can seem like a human paradise, but the thing is that theirs is all about control. You're going to be in the smart cities, which, oh yeah, you have all of these resources and all these, there's positive things about it, but you don't have your own car. You don't have your own space. You don't, like, it's not, they'll present some of these things as good for us, but underlying the fact, it's, honestly, it's karma for what we've done to the animals. You look at the animals in their cages, in their CAFOs, and all of these things, and, we really can't complain about being stuck in 15-minute cities. At least you have a whole city. They only have a pasture, right? Like, Omar says, doesn't she look like Dexter's sister, the cop lady? Thanks. I'm sure that Deb would take that as a compliment. Alexander says, haven't owned a television in 15 years. Oh, that's good. Yeah, I don't have television myself, but there are some shows that I will watch here and there. But I know that I really shouldn't be intaking any of their media because it's all garbage at the end of the day, and it's all inverts too. It's really hard to even watch something once you have the eyes to see, because you can't unsee something. Like once the light bulb has switched in your mind, it's like, wow, that's just, how did I not even see it before? So yeah. Staffold says it's a media tactic. It's not real. Are you talking about the, I'm not sure what you mean by the media tactic thing. David says she's a lot prettier than Dexter's sister, who was an intern. Aw, thanks. Yeah. Staffold says therapy and medical professionals are best, even if the pharma industry is awful. Well, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree on that, because I don't. The problem is that medical professionals are, the schooling that they go through is structured by big pharma. It's I don't want to say it's a circle jerk, but that's what it is. It's all of these people together that are, creating these problems, and they're all in on it together at the top. And then, your doctor that you go see probably doesn't know, right? But your doctor that you go see probably has a medical or a college bill, and a nice car they need to pay for, and all these other expenses that come along with the look of being a doctor. So yeah. Kyle says both the White House AI website and the WEF website are pretty much the same. Copy my homework, but don't make it obvious, kind of thing. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Is that the AI website? Is that something that's new from the Trump administration, or was that up before? Hey, Queenie H. Roddy, how's it going? Aliens equal 33% Freemason fallen angels who run your satanic governments. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're all Freemasons. I don't really believe the Freemason agenda that basically blames everyone for being a Freemason and blames Freemasonry for everything in the world's problems. Because Freemasonry was a religion that was infiltrated a long time ago and corrupted. And the real problem is the inverts. But they're trying to blame Freemasons, blame Knights Templar, blame these, blame this, blame this. It's like, how about we just blame the ones that are actually the problem, which is these fallen ones and their offspring, their inverted offspring. And they go into all of the different groups. Freemasonry, Christianity, Islam, every group that you can find, they try to infiltrate and corrupt, or they already have. The longer it's been around, the more infiltrated and corrupted it's been, because that's how it works.
All right, good luck.
Alexander says it's all astrotheology. It's already written in the stars. They keep playing out the same event year after year. Yeah, I definitely agree that a lot of it is written in the stars. The astrotheology thing is pretty cool, because of one of the posts that I posted before was like the morning star, and kind of relating it back to mourning, like she's mourning because she lost her son, and the whole story of the maiden and all of that kind of connection, as above so below. But yeah, it's really awesome to see different aspects of creation in the stars, and of course, what's that quote about that like millionaires know astrology or something like that? I don't really know, or millionaires don't but billionaires do, or something. There's a lot of information in the stars that is hidden from us, even our your daily horoscope, these things that are given to you in your newspaper. That's just like low level, oftentimes just nonsense, but there's definitely a rhyme or reason to the stars. Even in the Bible, it talks about how they're given for signs and seasons. The ancients were able to tell various events, including eclipses and stuff, using an astrolabe. So they were able to look in the stars and the sky and see all these things that were going to come to pass. So I look forward to the astrology of the golden age and actually knowing the truth about our world in that manner. So yeah, Vinod said, I love you. Aw, thanks. Love you too. Daisy says, Satan's inverts control every country and create wars for humans to kill each other. Exactly. You gotta drain the swamp, right? And that's what they were talking about when these elite souls talk about draining the swamp. They're talking about killing off the human population. We are the swamp to them. We're the goyim. We're the less than species that they, gotta control and farm and all this stuff. And yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see that they got like all these people to say, drain the swamp, and then the next thing that happens is how many people just got killed off by that jab, right? Like, and even COVID, like there was multiple different, well, not necessarily just COVID, but I mean that they were being treated improperly and all these other things. I do know that viruses are real. I think there was a lot of deception with what was going on with COVID, as is every other thing. But viruses are all made in genetics labs, so obviously that's where every virus comes from. They haven't told you that yet, but they're completely unnatural, parasitic entities that are made in genetics labs. And there's gene therapy, which isn't always, like, viruses don't always have to be to make us sick, but obviously the ones that they release are to kill us off, right? To have STDs, to have all these other types of viruses that we experience today. Alexander says it's all BS, a false flag. Yeah, I'm not sure if these people are going to try to come into the pool. Hopefully not. Queen H. Hardy says lots of satanic bots everywhere. Definitely. David E. says huge crowd today. Guess the shadow banning is off. Yeah, 74 people, but it's still not as big as the other day, like a few weeks ago, when there was like 150 some, which was pretty cool. I'm not really sure why they're letting that go. Queen H. Hardy says they live. Reptilians run your satanic governments. I'm not sure why you say LOL, because that is the truth. But most people think of reptilians, they think of these weird, like on The Simpsons or whatever, where they remove the mask and they're these lizard-type beings. When in reality, it just all ties back to when the fallen ones shapeshifted into human form. Different ones take on different qualities. Some of them wanted to bring in that snake aspect of the Nakash, the predator, this serpent trickery, all of these aspects that come along with that. And then as far as reptilian goes, you got dragons, and in the mentality that goes with that, right? Them hoarding their pile of gold. So those different elements were brought into the human DNA and mixed with us as hybridization. And one of the things that is evidence of them being these hybrids is their Rh negative DNA. And if you try to mate with, if an Rh negative tries to mate with an Rh positive, the body actually sees it as a foreign object and moves to basically destroy it. That's why they have to take those meds to keep the pregnancy going. So, yeah. And obviously that's not to say that anyone by their DNA is like cursed or evil or anything. Obviously, our DNA does matter, but what matters even more than our DNA is what we choose to do. If we choose to do evil or if we choose to do good, that's what ultimately matters. Not your skin color, not your DNA, not your species, even, So, Personal Growth says, what time is your country? It is 12:39 here. How about you? Alexander says it's all to harvest your energy. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. Everything here was created to harvest your energy and keep you from grounding and finding your real purpose. Yeah, great comment. Bellissima, hello, how's it going? Scott says, Jesus/Trump 2025. You can't have both, Scott, because one is a purifier, one is a good soul, and the other is Trump. So, yeah. Lucas says, for God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believeth him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Okay. I don't believe that belief is what gets you to heaven, and that's not what the Christ himself taught either, so I'm not sure about that. Ow. Richard says, rip Joe Biden. Why? None of these people ever die when they tell us that they die anyways, so. Jane says there's no way I want to live in a dystopia world where AI controls everything. And that's definitely understandable. Who knows how much of that's already happening right now, since they keep us so behind in technology and everything else. It's like that's probably already the situation. But anyways, Machiavelli says, you look like you've matured in your devotion and gained wisdom that only few get because of the rising ignorance in the world, especially in this era. Aw, thanks. I appreciate that. Ali said, love from Turkey. Cool. David says, all porn stars are all inverted males. Satan used porn to corrupt and homosexualize men. Exactly. Yep, exactly. And, sex is meant to be between a man and a woman in love anyways, so porn is really disgusting degradation of what all of that energy should be anyways, so. Alexander said, when you get down to the core of it all, it's all about meditation and them doing everything they can to keep us from doing it. David said that the golden age means we own our own slice of paradise with terraforming and climate engineering. Excuse me. It is very possible. Yeah, even like driving through some of these deserted places down here with the right irrigation and water, it could be flourishing. They could have delicious tropical fruit year round. Like, it would be amazing. But the powers that be don't want that. So they want these droughts. They want the lack of resources, the survival mentality, and all of that that goes with that. Alexander says, we who go within are very powerful, and the butterfly effect is working beautifully. Yeah, it's definitely nice to meet with people and connect like this. There's a few and far between in the real world, in physical activity knowing each other. So, hey Bob, how's it going? Bob says apparently both sides of the AI timeline need to play out for dramatic demonstration, but be confident that the white hats have won and are in true agreement. I think we probably disagree about who the white hats are, Bob, but yeah, I definitely have hope that the real humans, the white hats, will be in control in the end. And where that all comes from is Westworld, when they are entering into the world, they either choose a white hat if they're going to be a good guy, or a black hat if they're going to be a bad guy. And right now the powers that be are trying to pretend like some of them are white hats and some of them are bad hats, when they're all bloodline related to each other and, working together against us. So, X says, facts. Western medicine is as corrupt as the government. Exactly. JM329 says, just because you can think of something doesn't mean it is true. Oh my gosh. I am this year's old today when I found out the truth about that. I did not know that before you came and told me. I am so thankful for you and you being here today. Thank you so much. Obviously, dude. Lion Root says, hi, Anana. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Sunita says, I want to kiss you. Aw, thanks. Bob says, Trump timelines and the cosmic game. Light versus dark. Oh, no. Trump. Okay. Lion says, you look shiningly amazing. Oh, thanks. Yeah, the sun is doing wonders for me today. Kyle says the AI website came up once Trump came in. Okay. It's on my profile in the comment section from the post you saw. Okay, cool. That might have been the same one with all the laws then that I saved for later. Cool. Alexander says you are correct and I'm learning to read them. Oh, that's so cool. You'll have to share with me anything cool that you find out as you learn how to read the stars. Kyle says now they're issuing a injection for cancer. Yeah, and then one of these people, they go in for the cancer treatment and they get biopsied. They get the, cancer little sac pricked and it flies all over their body. Not flies, but whatever, you get what I'm trying to say. And then they go in for the cancer treatment that's really not designed to heal the underlying issue, which is usually coming from the food that you're eating, whether it's dairy or processed sugar, even animal flesh, all of these things. When you're eating evil things happen to you, and that's what happens. So, but it's interesting to see how many people would rather go in and, get their arms cut off and get body parts removed and get all these things, but they won't change their lifestyle. Kind of sad. Francisco says, you surf. I have never tried surfing before. I have done a little boogie boarding in my younger days, but yeah, I've never tried to surf. Reason said, what's the temperature there? I'm not sure. I should probably just turn around myself and then I can... I'm not sure what the temperature is here because I also can't check my phone because I'm on... Can you hear me okay? Hello from Japan. Difficult to understand English. Oh, well, thanks for being here. Reason said re-engineer AI, it's easier to understand all languages. Definitely. Even with like the Google Translate and stuff that we have, they deliberately put errors in there and stuff to mess with us. Just whatever. El Sure says you're pretty. Oh, thanks. Indian says, first of all, there is nothing called reptilian humans, as you say. Every human has some dark traits within them. I'm not talking about dark traits within them. I'm talking about their DNA, their actual biological composition. And then I also talked about how the O negatives have trouble reproducing with positives, which that doesn't happen if you're the same species. So, Harmon Walker said, do you know your hair is wet? Yes, I'm in a hot tub right now, so... Indian says, and this happens over many births. But yeah, so anyways, I'm not talking about their dark traits or any of that. I'm talking about their actual DNA and what they are. Giovanni says, hi, where are you? I am in a hot tub in Southern California, enjoying the weather. Am I still muffled? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, well, I'm not really sure if you can hear me because I'm not hearing anything else. Okay, cool. Cool. Let me just scroll back up. When you got out of the pools, you lose connection. Yeah, sometimes with these headphones, there's like a thing on the end that when I hit it, it turns it off too. So, anyways. Sorry, I can't see this one. Vinod asked me if I'm married. No, I'm not married. Not married, single, and not looking, so whew, it's dirty. Thanks, Kimberly, for letting me know that you couldn't hear me. Giovanni says you have such pretty eyes. Oh, thanks. Constantine says hello from Italy. Hello, how's it going? Okay. We don't need to be talking about sexual things. Alright. Raven said it's hailing in LA. Very loud thunder. Oh wow, how close are you to the fires down there? Jonathan says, I'm struggling with a mental health crisis. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not really sure that this would be the place to talk about that. But if you feel like you need to say some things, then you can say some things. Just in English. I'm not sure that this would be in any other language because I only speak in English, really. Cannon says, love the eyeliner. Oh, thanks. Kyle says, yes, we can hear you, just not when you cover the mic. Okay, good to know. That's funny. The tattoo on my upper chest says forever and ever. Like a fairy tale, forever and ever, and also has a music note. Well, a music symbol in it because I love music. So I got this when I really liked the Once Upon a Time series and Snow White. So, hey Jay, how's it going? Cannon says hello from Ohio. Hey, that's where I'm from. 5 inches of snow and very, very cold. Interesting. What part of Ohio are you from? Miroslav says hello. Kyle says, what vegan places have you been to in SoCal? I'm gonna get up out of the pool for right now because usually, Kyle, when I go to places, I post on my Happy Cow. So if you find me on Happy Cow and follow me there, you'll be able to see all of the places that I go. But sorry, I'm trying to get my seat figured out here. Ooh, it's chilly. Yeah. It's interesting to see like the different pockets of spaces too that have vegan restaurants, and even the places that just have vegan options. It's really cool to see the expansion and all the different options. TLC says, do you have contacts in? No, I do not. I stopped wearing contacts a while back because I want my eyes to heal. And contacts are kind of, and glasses, they're kind of like walking around with a crutch on. And so your muscles never tighten up because you're always like limping on that crutch. So the intent is to heal my eyes. And so yeah. Jay says he's from Michigan. Oh, cool. What part of Michigan? Oh, Carlos, no way. Akron, Ohio. That's really cool because that's where I went to college. And Jay, also, I lived in Michigan for a while, so I'd love to know what part you live there. Ken says lots of family in Avon Lake in Cincinnati. Okay, cool. Yeah, I grew up in the Salem area, which is a little bit south of Youngstown. So, cool, guys. Cool. Kyle said, and when are you posting your guitar? Oh, yeah. So some people know that I recently got a new guitar. And yeah, I haven't really played, like recorded any playing, so I'll have to do that. But it was kind of an impulse decision. I didn't really even, I already have a guitar, but it was blue and it was an electric acoustic, whatever. It plugs in, and I'll have to, yeah, I'll try to remember that later today, Kyle. William said your body is banging. Oh, thanks. David says Trump is trying to control the golden age. Exactly. Yeah, it's frustrating to see these different things too, because, the powers that be have all of the platforms and all of the money and all of these other other benefits that obviously I'm usually shadow banned. I'm surprised that I have so many people on my live stream, so it's... TLC said, is healing your eyes working? I just got contacts. I actually just ordered something called a eye bright, which is an herb to take, and I plan on starting to take that. But there's different exercises and stuff that you can do. Honestly, I've been slacking in it, so no, my eyes haven't been healing, but I know that it's possible. So there's other factors as well, including our diet and eating things that are inflammatory can inflame the veins and stuff and cause us to not be able to see as well. So, you know, until I purify my diet, I also don't expect to like have perfection in a lot of things. So, hey Leon, how's it going? Leon, I'm not sure how you say your name. I apologize if I said it wrong. Cannon said, what made you move out to California? I moved to California, to Mount Shasta specifically because it's the root chakra of Mother Earth. And if you can, you know, you focus on the root and purifying the root, then it'll essentially have that effect on the rest of the world. Just like the root of a tree, if it's healthy or unhealthy, it's going to affect the whole thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I started the Shasta vegan community, and the main goal is to make Shasta vegan, make everything vegan. Shasta is known as the meeting place of heaven and earth. So if any city in the whole world should be vegan, that should be starting there. But it's not just about veganism. Veganism is the key that unlocks the freedom that we get to experience and the fun. You know, humans aren't made to live this 9 to 5. We're not made to be crushed down and in living these survival mode. But until we are better with the animals, you know, until we treat them better, we aren't going to get treated better ourselves. So there's, you know, a direct connection between how we treat them and how we are treated. Carlos says, I used to live in Canfield, Ohio. No way! That's so cool. The Canfield Fair. I remember, like, that was just so cool growing up, getting to go to the Canfield Fair. They would actually shut our school down for, like, Thursday and Friday or something of the days because people just wouldn't come to school, so they gave us those days off. And we got to, during my senior year, one of the vendors there was allowing, like, one of the classes to do fundraising through working in the booth. So I got to even work there. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, that's fun that you bring that up. Sandro Camilo says, are your eyes natural? Yes, they are. Just being silly. Carlos says near Salem. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure that you know where Columbiana is, and that's where I went to school at Heartland Christian. So, cool. Ian says, howdy from Chesterfield. Hello, how's it going? Gabby says, Jesus loves you. Thanks. Test Europe. What does that mean? Well, hello there. How's it going? Hopefully you're doing well. Rustical says, I'm a slacker. Well, I am too sometimes, buddy. That's okay. David D says, inversion is Satanism. Exactly. Satanism 101, invert yourself and go against the plan that God had for your life. So, Leon says, happy days. Yeah, it's beautiful here, so can't complain. Vinod says, I'm your subscriber. Aw, cool. Glad to hear that. TLC says, are you blessed with having money? I definitely don't have as much money as I would like to have, but hopefully that'll change soon. Ian says, Gaia. Yes, Mother Earth. Radoslaw says, universe is on body. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Cool. Cannon says, that's actually really fascinating and love your insight. How long have you been out there? Do you miss Ohio at all? I miss certain parts of Ohio, I would say, but I always felt like Ohio was like a trap that people didn't get out of because like my whole family is there. And while I do think that's awesome, I don't know, it's just a really small city that I was from, and well, I don't know, I guess I shouldn't say that because honestly, I don't know. Well, Salem is a small city, but I also didn't get out much. I went to school, I hung out with my, basketball team, and then I went home. I didn't really, get into the community of my actual city pretty much ever until after I even graduated. Yeah, but have you ever been to Nelson's Ledges? Because Nelson's Ledges is awesome. It's definitely a part of Ohio that I would love to go visit again. We had a lot of fun there. It's this rock quarry that you could just go and climb and I don't know, just have all sorts of adventures there. So Kyle says the entire world will be vegan one day. Exactly. Can't wait. David says Shasta connects to underground high-speed rail that goes everywhere on Earth. Yeah, and I've mentioned that before, even in that book that I started that I haven't gotten to again. Sorry. Mount Shasta, Northern California's Mystic Mountain. They talk about the high-speed rail, and I think they mentioned that it goes like 3,000 miles per hour, which is crazy. It would be really awesome if we could get access to that instead of having to, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of too much air travel, because that's where, like, I don't know, the birds should have their space to just be alone up there and not have to worry about a bunch of idiot humans driving their little personal flying mobiles drunk. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, Bob says Mount Shasta is sacred to legions of people, including me. Yeah, Bob, how many times have you been to Mount Shasta? David D says the golden age must be vegan or we won't get one. Exactly. Yeah, we don't deserve it if we don't give one to them. We can't karmically earn heaven on earth when we're giving out hell on earth. So, Ian says my eyes are the same color. Cool. And Ian also says I'm most definitely a slacker. Hey, well, it happens sometimes, especially when, like, I don't know, if you have like a regular job and you have to work really hard and all of that. When you get home, you just want to chill out and not do anything. I totally understand that. And also, if you don't have a job and you don't work a normal life, I also understand being a slacker then too. So, no judgment for the slackers around here. Vlogs by Jade. Hi, how's it going? Barodi says, what do you think about life? It's a pretty broad question. I think life has its ups and downs, but ultimately there's a purpose for it, and well, there's multiple purposes for it, and I really appreciate this realm that we get to experience physical reality in, and, you know, eating all the delicious vegan foods and having babies and all of this fun stuff that we get to do here that, you know, that in the non-physical you don't have, right? So yeah, I think I'll leave that as my answer, unless you make it a little bit more specific. Ian says it's the only way to be cool. Slacker for life. That's funny. TLC says, any kids or husband? No and no. I am single. I have not been blessed with any kids yet. Thankfully, I don't want any kids right now. Well, I mean, I do, but the state of the world is not safe for kids, and I don't want to bring one into this mess yet. So, and David, he says, please comment in English. Black Dose 2 says, do you speak other languages? I speak a little bit of Spanish, but I took Spanish like all throughout, starting in elementary school. I went to private schools my whole life, like Christian education, and they made it a priority that, like, you know, we all need to speak Spanish so that we can go into Mexico and preach the gospel or whatever. So from a young age, we had to learn Spanish. And so in high school, I continued that, and then after that, I really didn't. So I need a lot more practice before I could go and, you know, speak with the locals. Vinod says, please pray for me. Okay, I will keep you in my prayers. Agrita says, everyone hit like. Oh, thanks. Roberta says, beautiful. Thanks. Beautiful eyes, maybe. No. Dizanne says, you have nice eyes. Thanks. Backup says, life sucks if you live in the snow. I can definitely agree to that. I've always wanted to be a snowbird and, you know, fly south for the winter and then come back when it's nice. But I also kind of see how, especially around Mount Shasta, it's different if you can stay and make it and hang out and tough out the weather. You're looked on as different if you actually stay and rough it out, and if you leave, you're not really seen as the same. Not that that's what my driving factor is, but I am a local. It's not like I live there. So yeah. Chi says, Slay Queen. Oh, thanks. Bob says trips to Mount Shasta, 2 times in 2019, 3 times in 2023. Wow. And 1 in 2024. Cool. Well, do you have any other trips planned for this year? Cool. Look forward to seeing you again. Sandro Camilo says, if you are vegan, please be careful to supplement B12 vitamin. I have an old neighbor that cannot walk anymore because she is vegan and lacked B12 for muscle and nerves. Well, a lot of times the nutritional yeast that people eat is already fortified with B12. But I would be curious about what other deficiencies and issues that she might have had, because the body's a self-healing machine, and realistically, like with fasting, we don't need what the medical industry has told us that we need, right? We don't need all these proteins. Realistically, God didn't intend for us to be counting how many calories or how much protein or how many grams of this or whatever is in fruit. We're supposed to just be mindlessly frolicking around eating fruit, and everything works as perfectly as it should. But obviously with the culture that we're in, everyone's like, oh, how many carbs, how much sugar, like all these different factors. But yeah, that being said, animals are, I think they're actually given extra cobalt so that they make more B12. So when people are not vegan and they're, trying to point to this, the animals that they eat are getting supplemented with these things too, because they're not getting it naturally as well. And further, when you go to the animals to get your B12, you're also getting all that mammalian estrogen. All of the animals are pumped full of hormones, and almost all of them are females. So that is pumped full of estrogen. If you're a guy, you should not be consuming estrogen. If you're a girl, I was just reading yesterday that like thyroid cancer and some other things are linked to higher estrogen. And that's interesting because, females eating all of these products with mammalian estrogen and cheese and all the dairy, right? And then you end up with throat cancer or ovarian cancer or these other cancers and problems. And there's like this direct link because, we're going against our brothers and sisters. David D says, God created us to eat fruit. Exactly. Poon says, I like your eyes. Aw, thanks. Vinod says, nice talking. Thanks, I appreciate that too. David D says, Fruitarian heals diseases and makes you younger. Exactly. One of the things I'm really looking forward to, as I've mentioned before, is Shasta Tangerine season, which is about to start. It's almost February. So I'm really, really excited about that. I plan to just go and get a big box of them and just eat those for a while. So, David D says, what is God's will for us? Well, that's kind of a big, broad question. But in general, I would say that God wants us to be the best that we can be, like a good parent. He's our creator too, so the things that we do reflect on him. If I was him, I would want humans to come in here and be like really awesome and have a great time and make this earth something that is like magical and a happy place to be, a paradise, a heaven on earth. And obviously that includes veganism, because that's how we treat the animals and, again, how we get treated. So Bleck says, I don't know if that's how you say her name, but ever been to Europe or plan to go there? I've actually always wanted to go across the pond. I love an accent. But I've never got the chance to go there yet. So we'll see what the future holds. Madeline X says, beautiful eyes. Aw, thanks. David D says, eating innocent flesh corrupts your soul. Exactly. Radoslaw says, best ginger citron Littell sugar shot. Interesting. I'm not sure what's that for. Is that for killing parasites? Just kidding. No, that's not why you drink sugar. David D says, a lot of people think vegetarian is okay, but it's still funding rape. Dairy is evil. Yeah, and actually just this morning I was reading this nice comment in one of the vegan groups of someone that was saying that they were missing eggs. And another person said, even if you do go to this free-range farm where you're choosing the supposed better option, the people that are running those farms don't have your your morals and beliefs. So when it comes to how the birds are handled, and how they're treated, and what happens when they aren't able to produce anymore, they're still getting abused. So whether it's eggs, whether it's milk, whether you're stealing honey from bees, all of these things are ultimately stealing, and we're gonna have the consequences of those actions come to us. So Francis says hi guys, how's it going? Prataya says hello, hey. Kyle says reminder, send me Shasta tangerines. Okay. Francis said hello, hey, how's it going? Prate says, from which country do you belong? I am from the USA, but I think that all of the countries of Mother Earth are my home, and I claim them as that. Since right now, I don't know. I don't really like the separation of all the countries and the fighting that it has created, and just the disunity amongst humanity. Mountain says, David, what do you mean by funding? David says, paying for cheese. They must rape the cow pregnant. Exactly. Yeah, they don't just let animals mate regularly. They basically take the semen from the bull in a really unnatural and disgusting manner. And then they put that into a donor cow. And then they'll take her embryos, and then they'll sell the embryos, and then the farmers at their individual, homes will get the embryos and sodomize a cow. Obviously, that's not how you get pregnant, but that's part of it, is that they sodomize the cow, and they even, are told to go and sweet talk, make sure that the cow feels comfortable, go sweet talk the cow before you go and shove your hand up its bum, and then also in its other body parts too. So all of this dairy is a product of rape, pretty much. So yes. Mountain says, are you married? No, I am not married. I am single and not ready to mingle. Luxury says, are you lost? You should be the kitchen. Aw. You should use spell check before you want to insult people, because are you lost? You should be in the field. Like, what are you doing? Why are you on Facebook? Why aren't you working? This guy, What a sexist pig. Just kidding. So the farmers rape the beef. Yeah, okay, Matlin says I understand. Okay, cool. Radoslav says, Christos oil in the body. Yes. I have done a lot more research about that recently. There's a friend on mine on Facebook that sent me some info about that, which is really cool. I haven't done it myself or practiced any of the things that are associated with, like they talk about, like fasting a few days before it, and during. So yeah, I think it's really interesting, and it's something that I want to know more about. Let's Build It says, are you a Christian? I follow the original teachings of Christ, so there's that. But mainstream Christians would say that I'm not, because I don't follow their version of Christianity. Essentially, God never said that animal sacrifice was okay. He never said that that was what he needed to forgive us for our sins. It's psychopathic to think, let me say, you transgress against me, and so I'm going to say, before I can forgive you, 2 hens, kill them, let's see it, That's psychopathic. God doesn't need that. He can just forgive you. And shedding innocent blood just makes you more guilty. So now you've not only sinned against me, now you went and sinned against 2 hen, and now your punishment is owed even more to you. But mainstream Christianity has been deceived into believing that blood sacrifice can eradicate their sins. And it's really sad to observe, actually, because that's the religion that I was raised in, and it's a lot of plead the blood of Jesus and being covered in blood, and it's just really evil. Actually, being covered in innocent blood is the opposite of being white as snow, and I would want to be white as snow. So there you go. Lex says, do you plant your own food? I actually have a thriving apple orchard, but I haven't planted anything new in it yet. I wanted to plant potatoes a few years back, but then these squirrels came and like undid them the day after that I planted them. And I also planted a sunflower with a cucumber at the bottom, because you can use a sunflower as a trellis for a cucumber vine. It'll also help make like the taste of the cucumber be better as well, because they grow together, which is so cool. But within, a matter of days or weeks, the sunflower was completely ravaged for seeds, and the other plant was just torn up too. So yeah, I just don't really have a passion for farming, for gardening. So I haven't really put much effort into it, but I wish I did, actually. So, aw, Matlin says, wish you were my wife. That's sweet. Would love to look at those eyes 24/7. Aw, thanks. David, he says, every celebrity is an invert. It's how Satan controls humanity. Inverts are really pushing OnlyFans to corrupt human girls. Bonnie Blue, an invert, had sex with hundreds of men, allegedly. They definitely promote all of these, even porn in general, the whole idea. Sorry, his kids are... Whose parents? Okay. My phone's probably also going to die. I'm at 13%, so if I get cut off, that's why. But yeah, David D, that Bonnie person has been posted recently into the transvestigation groups, definitely an invert. And I don't believe anything that they say on the news, so I don't believe that they had sex with all of these men. I think, like you're saying, that they are pushing it to corrupt real human girls. Hey, you can make a lot of money if you let a whole bunch of guys just plow you to the road. That didn't sound right, but whatever. Yeah, it's really sad too, though, because that's like just so degrading. And then you think of all the girls that have tried to go out to Hollywood to make it big, and then they end up basically the only chance that you get is to go and be in amateur porn, and like you just get used and abused and thrown out like yesterday's trash in the hopes that you're going to be famous, and then you still don't get to be famous. I don't believe that any people... sorry, I started reading the comment in the bottom. I don't know what I was going to say. Ooh, I love this. Are you a Christian? And why are there so many inappropriate things on your YouTube channel? Like porn stuff, and you in a bikini in a very exposed way. That's not a correct biblical way of living. I don't follow the Bible. The Bible lies about God and Christ. So I'm not concerned with living my life according to what the Bible has to say. It's full of like animal sacrifice and like weird sexual relations and things that aren't okay. And that's completely apart from God. God and Christ have nothing to do with that. We don't throw the baby out with the bathwater when we start to question religion and discern what the truth and the lies are. And David says they changed Jesus from dying to save the innocent of an insane blood cult that allowed flesh eating. Exactly. If you guys check out Christspiracy, I believe it's available for free online on their website, Christspiracy.com. Really great documentary about how how Christ was against the animal sacrifice system, how he actually, instead of calling it a den of thieves, he called it a den of murderers. And he went in there and was like clearing out the animals, and it was really cool. In the Essene Gospels, I think it's the Essene Gospel, the Holy 12. Basically, he shows up there in Passover and like drives them out with a whip and all this stuff, and then the crucifixion happens, and then they're like back at this animal sacrifice, and he shows up again in the temple, and like in a glorified, like a spiritual form type thing. And oh man, the story is so cool. I've read it here before, but you can find it online for free. The Gospel of the Holy 12. And the Essene Gospel of Peace, the Essene Humane Gospel of Christ. Really great, life-changing books there. So I definitely would encourage you to do that. And also, regarding me being exposed, the reason that I ever started getting exposed on camera was because I run the largest transvestigation groups, and I'm also under scrutiny because of the position that I'm in. I need real humans to be able to judge me and to be able to see that I'm a real girl, which means they need to be able to transvestigate me and see all of my biomarkers. So that's why I started. For the majority of people, I'm the first real girl that they're even seeing through a screen. So, yeah. Cow says, oh yeah, that reminds me, a squirrel planted a sunflower for us when I tried feeding them sunflower seeds. Oh, that's so cool. The Space Between says, everyone has their beliefs. I respect that, but why transition to a whole new sect of the church? Why not just stay vanilla Christian and still have those beliefs? I didn't go to a sect of the church. I went to the original way. I think that there is a true religion, and I personally resonate the most with the Essenes. The true religion would be one that encompasses all of the main core religious teachings of the world, those core principles that overlap in all of them. And the Essenes are amazing. They have really extensive sciences about healing. They have stuff about how Christ healed. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my phone between my legs. How Christ healed with his hands, using the different elements and invoking them on the actual palms to get this magical healing hands. So yeah, the Essenes are definitely where I feel drawn. And yeah, did you feel that strongly about it? There's nothing also that could separate me from like the Christ, whether he existed or not. The Essene Christ changed my life. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you like. Would you expect me to be Islam or something? Like, I don't know. Yeah. That one says, thank you for the sunflower and cucumber tip. Cool. Yeah, it's really cool to like see what kind of plants work well with each other in different permaculture guilds and ways that you can have different ones, enriching the soil for the others and them actually helping and surviving together. It's so much different than the monocrop culture that we have going on here, which is rows and rows and rows of trees that are just sucking all of those same nutrients out of everywhere, these massive like sections of land. So yeah. Ooh, my back is sticking. Matlin says, I love you. Aw, thanks, love you too. Tim says, hello, how's it going? Let's build it. I think I already answered the question there. David D says audio is sounding off again. Okay, well hopefully I fixed it, but like I said, I am going to get off here soon because I have like 12% battery. Am I covering the mic again? Sorry. Oh, I bet it was because I put my phone like in this blanket to hold it. Okay. Sorry guys. Jesper says, I feel very scared by this Bible maniac. Religion is not a drug and not meant to be. Definitely. Tim says green eyes. Yeah, thanks. I used to think that they were hazel, but I've been being told recently that they're green. Let's Build It says, those things are in the Old Testament, not in the New Testament. Read the New Testament. You don't seem to understand Scripture properly. God help you. Bye. Okay, first of all, the Old Testament comes before the New Testament, so that's the foundation that the whole book is built on. No one goes and picks up a book and just turns all the way to the end parts and just completely ignores the beginning and starts reading. That's not how books work. So yeah, if you actually read from the beginning to get the foundational understanding of the religion and in all of these aspects, it builds upon it. You don't just skip to the end. And that being said, my whole upbringing was pretty much the New Testament because that's what they teach in church, right? That's what, mainly Paul's crap. They don't really focus on the Old Testament because the Old Testament's for Jews. Meanwhile, Christ was a Jew, and if you want to claim that you follow Christ, that you're doing what Christ did, you need to do what Christ did, which would be studying the Torah, the Jewish law, and doing what he did, not just saying, oh, I'm free from the curse of the law and living like the world and saying that you're a Christian, because you're just muddying the waters and leaving a bad taste in people's mouth that are looking for the truth, and then they see you living like that, and then it just turns them off. So God help you. Bye Have a great day. Okay, Madeline says your beauty is proof that there is a creator. Aw, thanks. And Vinon says, I so beautiful. Thanks. But yeah, actually, Madeline, I used to say that, you can believe in evolution, but I know that the creator's real because of what I see, and other people should feel the same way too, right? Like, you should see your own beauty and be happy and proud of that. And, for the people that aren't beautiful, there's probably things that you can do, like, first of all, go vegan. That would really improve your looks. Because if you're eating evil, eating baby murder, then you shouldn't expect to be pretty. Um, See, I said I like your pennant. Thanks. There's this store in Reading called Falling Prices, and every day, they get new shipment every week, and like every day the price goes down by like 25 cents or something. And so I went on the last day of the week where everything was supposed to be 25 cents. Most of everything was ravaged through, but I started seeing these little red boxes that had letters in them, and mostly were like S and Q and like weird random ones that nobody wanted. But there was one single I, and so here it is on I. Okay, cool. David says the mother goddess Sophia has been hidden from every world religion. Definitely hidden, but also still there too. Because even like in Proverbs 8, it talks about Sophia. In the Essene text, for sure it does. Talk about the mother and how powerful she is against Satan, which is kind of interesting because, like, if you look into Baphomet, this symbol that usually people are associating with evil, the symbol was originally this occult symbol for Sophia, who's all physical matter. So it's like an animal and a human, a female and a male, the light, the dark, the up, the down, all of these different aspects of physical existence. In one, not an invert, but they've taken that symbol, right, and now they put it at their Satan church and all these other different things to basically hide behind, to demonize her, and yeah, it's really sad because, well, she's really powerful against Satan and his demons. And just the Essene Gospel of Peace, book 1, the beginning part of it, right off the bat, starts about like Christ talking about the mother, and that stuff is so good. It talks about, he who's forsaken his mother, when he returns to her, she'll love him, and bring him in, and if he basically abstains from the sins of Satan, the mother will embrace him in that hour and heal all of his ailments and all of these things. So it's really, really cool. I definitely suggest that. Tim says, where are you now? I am in Southern California for a few more days. I will keep you updated because I plan on potentially going towards LA to see not only the fire, what the situation is, but as I've mentioned before, there's a vegan group that's been doing outreach there, and I'd love to, meet up with them and maybe get some materials that I can pass out and other information and stuff, and also help pass out food to other people. So, cool. Bar said, holy cow, we both look like we don't use SPF with our cute freckles. Aw, thanks. I love freckles on here, but yeah, I don't use any sunblock or anything like that. I don't believe that the sun should be blocked. And so often those chemicals that you're putting on your skin are, you go put a bunch of chemicals on yourself, and then you go out in the sun and you bake the chemicals into you, right, onto you, and then you wonder why you have sun cancer. So yeah, obviously there's other factors too. What we eat is so big in that. If you have a very acidic diet, your acid burns, right? You're going to be, burning. Realistically, our creator intended for us to be out in the sun, so we shouldn't just go out there and burn up really fast. There should be some tolerance there. Matlin says, what are you wearing? Is it cold there? Why the blanket? Well, I'm in my bathing suit still, because a lot of people joined me in the hot tub, and I didn't want to be like screaming. And so since I'm in the dark, not in the sun, you can see the sun over there, but it's a little chilly. So yeah, I got a blanket. My leg is bleeding. Tim says, I love your eyes. Oh, thanks. David, he says, real Jews worship God. Inverts are fake Jews. The synagogue of Satan. Exactly. those that say they are Jews but lie. It's really kind of frustrating that so many of the truther community still blame Jews, and don't differentiate between that. Like the story of Moses coming out of Egypt. Yeah. With all of these people, right? And when they got out into the wilderness, it wasn't about whose blood was Jewish, who this or that. Basically, it was like, here are my commands. If you obey them, you'll be my people, and I'll be with you, and you will have long life in the land. It didn't matter what tribe, what nation you come from. It just matters that you do God's will. And there's other verses in the Essene text with Christ saying the same exact thing, like God's not going to judge you based on your race or your status or any of these things. That He's going to judge you based on, what you've done in your heart, your actions and stuff. So, pretty cool. David D says evolution is a satanic lie. Definitely. Let me just make sure my phone's not going to die really quick, because I'm at 9%. Definitely agree with that. And the space between us says, hey Dave, even if evolution isn't real, why would it matter if it was? Couldn't evolution have been a part of the Lord's creation? I feel like it works either way for real. Well, we have evidence that it's not real. All transitional fossils are fake. When genetic engineers try to modify DNA and put transgenic elements in, first of all, they have to break the DNA. It has to be it's getting broken to be modified, which means it's getting worse and not better. It's not modifying to be better. And then when they put the transgenic elements into the DNA to create something new, if they don't keep it under artificial antibiotic selective pressure, those elements actually get spat out. So Monsanto, for instance, doesn't allow people to reuse their seeds because every year their modifications get less and less. They need to redo the modifications and send out fresh seeds so that those modifications are fresh, not getting spat out. And as far as why would it matter, I don't know. I think evolution is not as intelligent of a design as just creating what was created. So I don't know. I don't really see it being as part of God's creation, because I see God as extremely intelligent, and I don't see evolution as being intelligent. So Tim says, is there your kids? No, I don't have any kids, thankfully. Madeline says, I wish I could see you in a bathing suit. Well, there's plenty of footage out there of me in a bathing suit. So there's that. Alexander said, a Jew is not a Jew outwardly, but within. Exactly. Marino says, you have pretty eyes. Thanks. Jeez, what is this Satan thing? And what are these Jews comments? Please let me allow a comment. I'm a Buddhist. Respect all religion as long as it respected is mutual and is not unilateral. Be kind. Okay, Mr. Buddhist, are you vegan? That's my first question. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of great principles in Buddhism. I have talked before about starting my church, my vegan church in Shasta, and it'll incorporate all of the religions, but mainly the vegan aspect is what it's focused on, and Buddhism is definitely going to be a part of it. So. Zigzag says, your eyes. Wow, thanks. Manny says, hello from Germany. Hello, Germany. My mom says that she's from Germany. So it'll be really cool to get my DNA tested someday when we have people that can be trusted with DNA. I definitely would not suggest anybody get their DNA checked right now, because you don't know what they're doing with that. If someone has your DNA, they can clone you, they can do all sorts of other things. So, not something I would suggest. Kevin says, what would be some good daily practices for self-healing and life improvement? Oh, that's a good question. Hello, Kevin, also. Well, meditation was mentioned earlier, which is really a great way to help, stabilize your mind, to help be clear-minded, and kind of connect spiritually with your true self. I think yoga is a great thing to look into as well. different forms of exercise even, and just moving about. Yeah, those are still some of the things that I guess focus on. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Vinyl says my dream was at least one time visit America in my life. Oh, you should. And during the golden age, I think that travel should be free. We shouldn't be worried about, you know, I don't know. If right now there's just too many restrictions and too many, this country is battling this country and all these different rules and regulations regarding travel, and I think that we humans should be able to travel Earth freely and move about the cabin, as it were, the yellow submarine, and explore and see what God created for us. So, Ollie, I'm not sure, says, "What's this stream for?" Well, we're just chatting, bud. Nice catching cat eyes. Oh, thanks. Someone in high school would tell me that I had cat eyes. So thanks. We can self-clean DNA. Well, one thing that you can do to help clean your DNA is clean up your diet. But yeah, I'm sure there's some other things that you can do as well. Tim says, America, I love you. Aw. Thanks. Are you not from America, Tim, or are you just American and saying that to your fellow Americans? Ephraim says, what's up, goddess? Hey, how's it going? Just chilling by the pool in the hot tub. My phone's about to die. I'm at 7%, so I'm going to probably have to cut it off soon. Alexander said the entire Bible is allegory and parable of meditation. Yeah, there's a lot of occult truth in there, and just stories that are symbolism that have been taken literally, and yeah, like you're saying, allegory and parable. Where do you live? I live in Mount Shasta in Northern California. If you haven't seen her yet, you should definitely look it up. She's beautiful. Raven says Dead Sea Scrolls are at Reagan Library here in SoCal. Oh, that's cool. Let me know if you want to meet up while you're in LA. Cool. Raven, are you on Facebook? Because I would love to chat with you. Kenneth says beautiful eyes. Aw, thanks. Hey, Kyle from Ohio. I am also from Ohio. That's cool. What state? I'm from Ohio, yeah. Tim says I'm from Europe, Greece. Cool. Someone else says Anunnaki. Nice. Kyle says, what you got planned for later today? Well, I was going to sit in the hot tub because my muscles are really sore from pickleball. But I'm not really sure. Let me just scan so you can see. That's what's going on around here. Hello, greetings from AZ. How's it going? Hopefully all's well with you. I don't know how to say your name with the letters. I live in New York. Cool. Okay. I've been to New York